Approved for $120,000. So a couple of videos ago, I showed you guys how the SBA reached out to me saying that I could apply up to $150,000. Well, I wanted to apply for a $120,000 portion, and guess what? I've been approved. And they sent me this email saying that your SBA Economic Injury Disaster Loan application is approved. So what I'm gonna do is in this video, I'm gonna go and break down the contract and the documents that they're asking me to sign, whether am I gonna pull the trigger on this or not. So let's go and play the intro music and come back and I'll show you guys and break down the Economic Injury Disaster Loan application process. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Kwak here, one of the Kwak brothers, and many of you guys applied for the Economic Injury Disaster Loan within the SBA program. Some of you guys might be waiting. Maybe you've been approved like I am, and in this video, I'm gonna go and break down the document and the contract that the SBA is having me sign, and I'll go and break down and give you my commentary on my thoughts, whether this is a good program, not a good program. And as always, go and subscribe to our channel if you want more updates and breakdown to SBA programs, stimulus programs, as well as real estate investing. Now, just another reminder for you guys saying that I am not an attorney, I am not an accountant, I'm not a financial professional. So any interpretation of this contract are simply my opinion and my own perspective. Be sure to consult with an attorney. In fact, right after this video, I'm gonna go and call my attorney and start reviewing this contract together. I haven't really dove deep into the contract just yet, so this is gonna be my first time diving really deep and getting to the details. Again, please talk to an attorney for your business, for your contract. I'm just simply providing my commentary, my own opinion about the EIDL program. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and share my screen and show you guys the loan authorization agreement, which is the contract for the EIDL. I got my contract reading glasses here, not for my eyesight, but this is to block any blue light or UV rays. So here we go. So let's go ahead and start from the top. And this is a really long contract. If I were to review everything, this is gonna take about an hour. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and highlight the most important things, the things that stand out the most, and I'll make a separate full review of the contract on our Facebook group, which is the Landlord and Passive Income Mastermind Facebook group. So if you have not joined that group yet, the link is down below in the video description. Go and click on the Facebook group, join the group, and I'll have a full long review of the contract. But I'm just gonna go and highlight again the most important thing. So here it is, loan authorization and agreement. Right out of the gates, it's showing me how much I'm borrowing, $120,000 with the principal and interest payment of $585 monthly for 30 years. Now it's saying that for 12 months from the date of the promissory note, I don't have to make any payment. So the $585 payment won't begin after the 12 months of a deferment period. That's when it's gonna start kicking in. Again, 30 years for 3.75% interest rate, which is, rather low. It's actually pretty good, pretty decent, not too bad. The next big thing I see here is the collateral part, where it's basically saying that if I'm borrowing more than $25,000 under the EIDL, I have to pledge collateral as part of borrowing the money from the EIDL. Now, I'm not gonna go through the whole thing. It's basically saying that SBA will have a full control over the assets and different security and different collateral of my business. So my office equipment, any non-tangible assets, those are all going to be secured. So basically, if I don't end up making the payments and I go default on the SBA loan, SBA has the right to come and seize my assets and my business if I were to become in default. So there's a lot of stringent requirements here, but I get it, right? This is a lot of money that they're giving out. They just want to have protection for themselves as well. The next three big things I see here are more requirements by the SBA. It's basically saying that I'm not allowed to sell any collateral or sell or transfer any collateral without written consent from the SBA. I can't get any financing or any other loans to pledge the collateral without the consent of SBA. It also says that I can only use the funds solely for working capital to alleviate economic injury caused by disasters. So I can't use this to go and pay off other loans or expand or anything like that. I can only use it for operating expenses, and they're gonna charge me $100 fees to do so. Requirements for the use of loan proceeds and receipt. This is basically saying that I have to keep all records, contracts, receipt, invoices, any amount that I've used out of loan, I have to keep any records of that. And it's also saying that the SBA has a right to come and audit me to see how I spent the money. So again, more requirements, more auditing, more control by the SBA. totally get it because they're giving you the loan. Another big item that I'm seeing here is that SBA is demanding that I sign and return this document within 2 months of receiving this. So within the next 2 months, I have to sign and return it. If I don't, then it will be canceled and I won't have that offer anymore. The next item I'm seeing here is the compensation from other sources. So it's basically saying that if I apply for other disaster assistance or if I get any other assistance from other entities, I have to let SBA know that I received other funds as it relates to economic injury from the disaster COVID-19 pandemic. Duty to maintain hazard insurance. This is basically saying that SBA is requiring me to hold an insurance for my business. If I don't have insurance, SBA is going to bar me and restrict me from getting any other future disaster assistance or SBA financial assistance if I don't have the insurance that the SBA is requiring me to do so. The next big item I'm seeing here is the books and records part, where SBA is demanding that I have clean books. I record everything. All operating statements must be recorded. Documents such as insurance policies, tax returns and related filings, records of earning, distributed, and dividends paid. So a lot of record keeping that the SBA is demanding. The big thing that I'm seeing here with this point is that the SBA could demand an audit being done by an accountant, and the borrower, you, the business, needs to pay for a public accountant to get that audit done. So at any time, the SBA can say, hey, we're gonna do an audit of your company, go and hire a public accountant and go and furnish a review and a report so that we can go and check out how you use the funds and how you're doing with your business. And oh, this is a good one. Borrower authorizes all federal, state, municipal authorities to furnish reports of examination, records, and other information related to the condition and affairs of borrowers and any desired information from such reports, returns, files, and records of such authorities upon the request of SBA. So this is basically saying, hey, you are going to let the federal government, state government, and local municipality to pretty much come and take information about your business and hand it over to the SBA. So a lot of restrictions, a lot of control by the SBA. Again, I understand this is the government's way of saying, hey, we'll give you money, but you have to let us in and, control a little bit of your business here. So further down the line, I'm just going to keep on moving along and I'll highlight some important things. Again, if you want the full-blown review of this entire contract, I'll go and leave it in our Facebook group. And if you're enjoying the breakdown so far, go and smash the like button as it helps our YouTube algorithm. Help us get this video out to as many people as possible so that they can get a little preview on what to expect from the EIDL program. Okay, so the next big item that I'm going to highlight here is the borrower certification. This is basically saying that there's no adverse condition that was changed in your business, so no liens, no bankruptcies since you've applied. Another big thing I'm seeing here under this section is saying that there's no fees to be paid to attorneys or accountants for services provided to you in connection with applying or closing this loan. So I don't know if that also applies to counsel, because I'm thinking about hiring an attorney to represent me and get information about what I can and cannot do under this loan. So if I'm reading this correctly, SBA is pretty much saying that you can't hire an accountant to help you review this loan document so that you can make a better decision. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, because that obviously restricts your ability to be informed to make a good decision whether or not you want to pull the trigger on this program. And down below here are the consequences of obviously lying and misusing the funds. So it says, whoever wrongfully misapplies the proceeds of an SBA disaster loan shall be civilly liable to the administrator in the amount equal to 1 1/2 times the original principal amount of the loan under 15 U.S.C., U.S. Constitution, 636B. And so basically, if you lie to the SBA or you misuse the funds from the loan, basically you could be liable for the entire amount of the loan or by 1 1/2 times, so 150% of the loan amount. So they're pretty, they're pretty much saying, hey, if you do us wrong, we'll do you dirty, and then we'll do some lot of bad things to you. You definitely don't want to screw up with the SBA and mess with the EIDL program. Okay, it says result of violation of this loan authorization agreement. If the borrower violates any of the terms of the condition of this loan authorization agreement, the loan will be in default, and SBA may declare all or any part of your indebtedness immediately due and payable. SBA's failure to exercise its right under this paragraph will not constitute a waiver. So basically, again, if you violate any of the contract, and I'll go and give you the full breakdown in another video in our group, basically they'll come and seize all of your properties and your loan amount is due immediately. There's no 30-year repayment, none of that. Okay, disbursement of loan. This is basically saying that the SBA has up to 6 months to give you the loan amount after it has been signed. So I don't know how I feel about this again, because some businesses may need this money right away, right now, because they're going through such a hardship that they don't have 6 months, right? Come 6 months, they may have to file bankruptcy, or they have to foreclose on properties and they have to lay off people. So I don't know if 6 months is ample time, but again, this is the government. And again, I'm not saying our government's terrible. It's great that we have these types of programs, but a lot of times things are slow, and unfortunately, that's the way it is. Okay, let's go and continue. Resolution of board of directors. This is basically saying if you have a corporation, you have to do a resolution, more record keeping, saying that, hey, you received the money from the SBA. So that's pretty much the loan authorization part. There's other information in regards to lobbying. You can't use the money to lobby from the Congress. This is a poster for equal opportunity that you have to post in the side of your business. It's also in Spanish, which is cool. All right, so here it is, the note. Promise to pay $120,000, pretty simple, right? Collateral means any property taken as security. So payment term, $585 every month, beginning 12 months from the date, so 12 months of deferment and 30-year term. And here's what constitutes default of this loan. And they have a pretty long list here. I'm not gonna go through everything, but it's basically saying fails to comply with the provision of the note or the loan authorization agreement, defaults on any other SBA loans, sells or transfer any of the collateral, making any misleading representation to SBA, defaults on any of the loan agreements, fails to pay any taxes when due, if the borrower goes to any bankruptcy or insolvency, the SBA pretty much thinking that you can't pay back the loan if you die, reorganizes, merges, or consolidates with any other businesses, becomes the subject of civil or criminal action, right? So all the things that constitute as default it's listed there. And further down the page, here are the SBA's right if there is a default. So it says without notice or demand or without giving up any of its rights, SBA may require immediate payments of all amounts under this note, have a recourse to collect all amounts owing from the borrower, file suit or obtain judgment, take possession of any collateral, sell, lease, or otherwise dispose of any collateral at public or private sale with or without advertisement. So the SBA pretty much can come in, take your possessions, right, and sell the property to basically liquidate them. And that's pretty much what happens if you default on this loan. And further down the page here is the security agreement. This is basically securitizing any collateral. So all the collateral that I own, right, office equipment, studio equipment, right, intangible or tangible assets, this is what is securitizing my business. So here it is, for $120,000, I am granting security interest to the SBA of any possession that I own within the business. So for $120,000, here are all the rights that the SBA has, collateral description. So here it is, just a repeat of pretty much what was mentioned in the loan authorization agreement, right? Inventory, equipment, instruments, chattel paper, deposit account, checking accounts. Okay, it restricts my ability to transfer any collateral, right? So I can't transfer these camera equipments to other businesses without the consent of the SBA. I have to maintain the equipment, and SBA apparently has a right to come and inspect the collateral if they want to, right? They can come into my business and check out my stuff. Like, oh, the camera's nice, look at that, right? Hey, these computers look awfully nice. It looks like if you default, we'll get these computers, right? So obviously, you can see all the rights that the SBA has. If you default, right, the security agreement pretty much stipulates all of that. Okay, perfection of the security interest. This is pretty much using the Uniform Commercial Code to perfect it. And here it is. Here's the provision for what constitutes as default. If the borrower makes any material false representation, right, lies or misleads the SBA to believe in certain false lies or pretense, then that could constitute as default as well. So pretty much everything else is general contract language, right? Lingo that applies to every other contract. So overall, here are my thoughts about the EIDL program under the SBA. There's clearly a lot of restrictions, a lot of liberty that's being taken away with this loan. And obviously the SBA can come in and audit you, and you have to pay for the audit expense. If you're borrowing more than $25,000, you're pretty much pledging everything in your business as collateral. And if you're in default, the SBA can come in and seize your equipment, take your assets and sell them as they wish. So there's a lot of restrictions, and there's a lot of liberty and freedom being taken away from being able to operate a free business. So I'm not really sure if I want to take this loan. I don't think I want to. I do still want to have a conversation with an attorney before I sign anything. But with the whole paragraph that says that I can't hire an attorney or an accountant to represent me in connection to closing this loan, that is a red flag on its own. So I don't know if I want to sign this. I think I want to walk away. Again, I'll have a conversation with my team and my brother and make a final decision. But overall, I don't think I'm going to move forward with the EIDL loan simply because there's a lot of restrictions, a lot of control by the SBA. And quite frankly, I don't absolutely need it. I mean, my original idea was to go and use this fund to refinance some of my owner financed properties and pay off certain things. But it sounds like I can't even do that. It has to be for working capital and operating expenses, which quite frankly don't need right now. So I'll probably end up walking away from the EIDL, mainly because after reading the terms and agreement, I'm not a big fan of any of the terms, any of the restrictions and the control that the SBA has. And again, if you want to see a full detailed breakdown of this contract, I'll go and make a separate video in our Facebook group, Landlord and Passive Income Mastermind group. The link is down below in the video description. As always, if you want to see more breakdowns, more updates with stimulus program, SBA programs, as well as real estate investing, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell notification icon if you want future updates from our channel.